Okay, so how was that main event? Have you lot seen The Revenant where Leo just gets like mauled by a bear for 10 minutes? That's what this main event was, yeah? Like, ironic that Paul Craig calls himself the Bear Jew when he was the one getting absolutely mauled in there. Look, I always thought that Brendan Allen was going to win it and win it on the feet, which he did. When the standing exchanges were there were times where Paul Craig would get clipped and then just this look on his face would be the look of a man who had just been hit by a truck. Paul Craig has a really bad weight cut to get down to 185. He really should be fighting at 205. So I do wonder if draining all that fluid from his body really affects him. And how much does that weight cut take out of Craig? So Allen won the fight where I thought he would, but that's not the story of the fight. I mean, technically, he won the fight via rear naked choke on the ground, but he won the fight where I thought he would, which is on the standing exchanges, then dropping Paul Craig and the fight would go to the ground. And that is where the real story of this fight is. I mean, Paul Craig was just getting destroyed on the ground. He looked like Edson Barboza against Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like, just didn't know what to do down there. Sometimes the looks on his face were just looks of fear and didn't want more shots raining down onto him. Craig's jiu-jitsu purely existed to create scrambles for him, but really nothing else. Brendan Allen knew his defensive grappling and was even chasing his own BJJ. Again, I have to say it, relying on jiu-jitsu to win your fights in 2023 MMA is useless. Every well-skilled, well-rounded fighter knows basic jiu-jitsu. And if you know basic jiu-jitsu, you know enough to keep yourself safe against an offensive jiu-jitsu fighter. Paul Craig seems to think he's middleweight's Charles Oliveira, but unfortunately he's nothing like it. His striking was again horrible. When he was wobbled, his double legs were slow and telegraphed. When he was dropped, his guard was useless against Allen, and Allen simply just had his way with him. He made Paul Craig look like he didn't even belong in the cage, and it sucks for me having to pile on Paul Craig like this. I really like Paul Craig. I love the Scottish character that he plays. I love the Braveheart memes. I love it when he wins. I love his post-fight interviews. He's a fun guy. I do not enjoy piling on Craig like this, but he's not a particularly good fighter in the top 15 sense. Like, obviously he is a UFC level MMA fighter, but in the top 15 of the UFC, he's not a particularly good fighter. He has gotten his ranking, let's be honest here, he's gotten his ranking of Hail Mary submissions, and that ranking is slowly slipping away from him as that luck is running out. Unfortunately, he is not the Charles Oliveira. He's a Tai Tuivasa. He has gotten his ranking by playing a one-dimensional game, and if that's the only tool and that tool doesn't work, he has nothing else. So what do you do with a fighter like Craig? What's next for him? Well, obviously the hospital, and then food, and then flying back to Scotland. But in reality, in his fight career, I would say that he needs to retire. He's 35, okay? He just got the living piss beaten out of him. He's never going to beat Vettori or Costa, but okay, if you want him to stay in the UFC and keep making his 30 for 30 or whatever he's on, God knows what he's on, but you want him to stay in the UFC and keep making his fight contract, then forget about doing this weight cut and depleting yourself, Paul. If you're never going to be a champ, you're just here to compete, have some good wins, some good losses, you might as well do it at a natural weight class for you, 205, and be a gatekeeper over at 205. Right, that's enough of my thoughts on Paul Craig. Let's get to Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen is Shavkat levels of scary. No, am I wrong here? The kid is goddamn legit. He came in ranked 10th and called for a #1 contender shot. And at first I was like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if you deserve a #1 contender shot. And then I heard the guys on ESPN post-fight show call for Cannonier. Brendan called for Jared Cannonier as well. And honestly, I originally didn't like it. Look, Cannonier, he's 40 plus years old. He's out with a bad injury. Everyone, do not worry about Jared Cannonier. Take him out of your mental rankings for now. Just like Stipe Miocic, don't worry about him. He's retired, all right? He's not here in our heads. Don't count him in. For me, I want to see Brendan Allen versus Robert Whittaker. To me, that is a perfect fight. Look, Robbie has done nothing but fight top 5 contenders forever now. I know Duplessis was 6, but Robbie has done nothing but take on the best and the best forever now, and now he has a loss under his belt. So it is time to invite someone up, put in the work, just like Gaethje did. Put in the work and invite somebody up. Robbie is healed up. Robbie is ready to go. He's ready to fight. Brendan Allen didn't take too much damage at all. And it's a great fight for Brendan Allen, and it's a real challenge for Robert Whittaker. We need to see, how is Robbie's game progressing? Is it progressing or is it stagnating? And with everything that Brendan Allen has shown us, he's a great challenge going forward. So to me, February gives Brendan Allen some time off to heal up. He can enjoy a couple of good meals over the Christmas break. You know, not many, not blow up, but enjoy a couple of good meals with the family and then get right back into it against one of middleweight's biggest name, one of the biggest names in middleweight that you can get. They're my thoughts for Brendan Allen. Now, if you're still here at this part of the video, that means that maybe you've had a good time, maybe you've been entertained, maybe I've given you some thoughts about what to do with these next fighters. So before you go ahead and watch your next video or lock your phone, if you could do me a favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, it would mean so much to me. See how you're enjoying my content popping up on your screen. If you're not enjoying it in the future, you can always just go ahead and unsubscribe. That's totally fine. People's change, people's taste change. But if you're this far into the video, it means you've enjoyed something about it, I hope. So if you could hit that subscribe button for me, that would be awesome. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys in the comments. I'll try and get back to every single person. What do you think about the future that I've laid out for these two fighters? Brendan Allen versus Robert Whittaker. What do you think about that much? Paul Craig, should he retire? If he's not going to retire, do you think he can even stay competitive? Should he just quit doing these weight cuts and be a decent gatekeeper and keep making his contract? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.